Just wait. All right, man. First off, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview with the Hype Magazine tonight.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Man, truly an honor, man. You're a legend out here. We're gonna get into a lot of the stuff you've done, but to get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you're from?
DJ Nasty 305. You know me, I represent the 305 all day, every day, baby.
Now, do you think being from Miami has made it easier for you or harder for you to get into the music industry?
Um, I'm gonna keep it real. Maybe a little bit harder.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I think the easiest way that I got in, it was just about my relationships. So I just knew the right people, and everything just fell in place at the right time,
Okay.
But I definitely had to put in a lot of work, and I definitely had to wait my turn. So it wasn't a situation where it was just all given to me. It was a lot of work putting in.
Now, with you being from Miami, as you said, you've been putting in work for a long time. What got you interested in the first place? Because we know Miami wasn't, didn't have that big scene it has now. But what was it that got you interested in the first place?
Well, there was one DJ who I've emulated my entire career. His name was DJ Uncle Al. Rest in peace, Uncle Al. I literally from where I'm from in Miami, it's a small area called Prime. And what I used to do is I used to get on a bus and take the Metro Rail all the way to Flea Market, USA every weekend when I was a kid. And I would go and I would find a brand new Uncle Al Sugar Hill tape. I would bring it back home, lock myself in a room, and I would play the tape all day, all night.
Yeah.
So he is the reason why I got interested in the game. So
Okay, and then you're world renowned DJ, of course, for all you've contributed and all your talents. What was who was some of your earlier mentors between besides Uncle Al and listening to his tapes? Who taught you how to do DJing, and were some of your early mentors?
so there were three people in particular when I was in school up in Tallahassee at FAMU that really got me locked into the game. The first guy who gave me a shot ever was his name was DJ Saxwell. Saxwell was the first person who actually taught me how to mix.
Oh wow, yeah,
So I didn't know how to mix records. I didn't know how to blend records. Even when I got started, I didn't have any equipment. I didn't have nothing.
okay,
So Saxwell was the first to let me even touch a piece of vinyl. And then after dealing with Saxwell, I met my main man forever, DJ Chuck. Now, Chuck, at the time, he was Clay D's tour DJ. Clay D is a guy that has a song, "Give Me a Bottle and a Cup." So we,
yeah,
so he was on tour with Clay D, and he really sat me down and honed me in on exactly what the whole game was all about, and learning how to mix, learning how to scratch a little bit, and just brushing on my game on the mic is when I met my other partner, DJ Dimp. And when I met
absolutely,
Dimp at the time was on the road with everybody: Juvenile, Trick Daddy, Lil Flip, the Ghost Town DJs. He was so big, and I just knew one day I wanted to be like him.
yeah.
And so, I got an opportunity to meet him, and we chopped it up. And then, like right now, we've been best friends ever like 20 plus years. So those three are the reason why I'm in the game today.
That's awesome. And you said they let you use their equipment early on, so
Oh
they definitely supported you on that.
yeah,
What was the first place you DJ'd or first time you got to see your skills live in
yeah.
person
Ooh.
and get that response?
There was a club. I cannot remember the name of the club, but it was underground. So in Tallahassee, back in the day, there was a spot on the street called Tennessee Street, and there was a main club called Floyd's.
Yeah.
Well, underneath Floyd's, there were like five different clubs, and I cannot remember the name of the spot, but that is where I got my first chance to actually rock in a club.
Okay.
Then when I hooked up with Chuck, Chuck let me do these teen nights. There was a place called the Garden, and it was an old dance studio. There was a Jamaican guy who owned it, and what he would do is he would throw parties in there, like little teen parties, disco parties. And Chuck left me in the party. He went
Wow.
outside and said, "Hey man, I got to get on the phone. I'll be right back," and
Yeah.
never came back until the party was over with. So he kind of set me up, and that was my thing. So from that party on, is when things really started getting cranking for me. So
Yeah, that's interesting because your first time doing kids, of course, sometimes kids can be the hardest ones to do because you don't know their music or their preferences. So your first opportunity, he kind of throw you into the wolves, as we would say, and
yeah.
and you killed it, of course, because you're here today. But what was the response you got from those kids? Did you have certain songs already picked, or were you going out? Were you reading the crowd? How were you able to do that?
I mean, that was God. I'm just keeping it
Yeah,
real. 'Cause I had no
yeah,
clue what I was doing. And I was
yeah,
just grabbing records. And if it worked, hey, that's what it is. So um, give all shout to the God for that.
yeah,
But it clearly it worked out.
yeah.
It
Now, when you
definitely
go
worked out.
to radio, going from being a DJ, how did you transition into radio? And what was one of the major things you noticed was different about being a club DJ and partying for the fans versus being on air and stuff?
Well, the first thing that you notice is that the audience is much bigger on
Yeah.
the radio
Yep.
than in the club. The only difference is you get to see people when you're in the club. On the radio, you don't see nobody. It's just you and whoever else is in the studio with you. Um, Doing that transition coming from the club to the radio, uh, when I first got in, it was really a situation of just do your thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in the club, just do it or do it on the radio. I don't care what it is, just do it. I had a lot of freedom when I was in Tallahassee. So even though it was corporate, I still had a lot of freedom and a lot of free reign to just do me.
Yep.
And then, it just transitioned over. And next thing you know, I'm at a real corporate radio station. And then that's when I really started like learning the game, like really learning the game. So
Yeah. Now you're an assistant program director now, but like you said, going back to those beginning days, like how intimidating was it the first time you hit live on air and you had to go live? Like, did you have a lot of butterflies, or did you have any kind of stress when you first went live the first time?
oh yeah, 1,000%. I was so scared. Well, when I was in Tallahassee and I got on the air in Tallahassee, I wasn't too scared
Yeah.
because it's a smaller market, wasn't that big of a deal. When I got on the air in Miami, funny fact, I never. Every time I ever played in the club or played anywhere, my hands never got sweaty. Never.
Mm. Yeah. Yep.
The first time that I played on the air at 99 Jams, I probably had the sweatiest palms in my entire career.
Yep.
I was so scared and I was so nervous,
Yep.
but apparently I did my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was trash, but the program director thought I was dope. And so he gave me another shot.
That's amazing. Now you mentioned you were nervous. It's interesting to me because when you're in person with the people, you're cool, calm, collective. It's like no issue. But
Yeah.
now I'm on radio. Nobody can see me. Nobody knows anything about me. They can hear this, and it made you more nervous. Is it because it was such a big opportunity for you, or just the unknown that made you nervous like that?
Well, no, I mean, it's just the fact of I'm home.
Yeah.
I got my family, my entire family,
Yeah.
all my friends, colleagues, people that, I would never think. I just never thought that I would ever be on EDR. Never. I mean, that's a station I grew up on when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I never thought I would be in the position to be on my hometown radio
Yeah.
station.
Yeah.
So the nerves were on a different level.
Yeah.
And even now, like 15 years later, I still get nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get those butterflies. I still get them.
That was gonna be my next question because now you're a legend. You've done all this stuff, but when you come home from Aruba and vacation time, and it's time to go back to the hangover mix, are you still getting those same butterflies, or is it kind
Oh
of just
yeah.
routine now? Yeah,
Well, I mean, certain mix shows for me is routine, but I still have those times where I do get nervous,
yeah,
and I'm like, damn, I know it's a million people in town. I got to go crazy,
yeah.
but after those first couple minutes, it's smooth sailing after
Awesome.
that. So.
Now, with you being in radio, maybe you can give a little insight to this for other DJs. How was it like praying new records? I know you're part of Core DJs. We'll get into that, but you guys specialize in taking risk and
Yeah.
breaking these records. So, what's some of the records you've taken a chance on, and it worked? And how did it respond when you went to the radio with that the first time?
Man, so it's so many records.
Yeah.
Like the one that I can say that I really took to like the next level was Ball Greasy,
Yeah.
Nice and Slow.
Yeah.
Um, that was a record that I believed in from day one.
Yeah.
We got it hot in the street, and once we got it hot in the street, I just brought it to the radio station. And at the time, the station wanted to get a little bit more localized, so they took a chance on it based on my words. So,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, through the roof.
I've been privileged to be in Miami a few times, and what stands out to me is you guys still play local artists. You play people from Miami and the surrounding areas, and I think a lot of places give you guys credit for that. What is it about your station you think that allows you to still support the locals the way you do, and has helped spring all these major stars coming out of Miami now because of it?
Well, I mean, that's what our station is all about. I mean,
Yep.
we're born here, raised here. The station was birthed here in Miami, so it's a different type of energy. It's a different type of setting. It's a different type of vibe. It's not as corporate as it is. Um, we still have the imprint and the cloth of Miami, so
Yep.
we're always going to keep that, and we're always going to use that to our advantage.
Yeah, that's right. I know Shady 45 sometimes would pick up your guys' station, and I was always amazed that it still was Miami stuff. It was still all up and coming Miami artists or the legends of
Yeah.
Miami. So I wanted to highlight that. You've been in radio all these years, as we say, that you're assistant program director now. What's some of the, we all know there's been a lot of changes. What's some of the things you are doing to keep up with these times we're in right now, to keep the radio relevant the way it is, and, keep doing the great breaking of records you're doing?
Well, I mean, the cool thing about me is I'm not the APD that's, that I just sit behind a desk all day. I mean, I'm
Yep.
still in the street.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a lot easier to bring that stuff to the station, understanding that I'm in the street and understanding I know what the streets want.
Yeah.
That's what they want to hear on their station, because it's not mine, it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure I take all the information from the street and bring it back and just make it all make sense.
Yeah. Now you mentioned with the Ball Greasy record, you had to get it hot in the street first. So I work with a lot of independent artists, and I always want to highlight you go to the streets before the radio. The radio should come to you, So what's some steps you use to get them hot in the streets? If you can give any insight on that.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, what they do is they just go into the clubs,
Yeah.
but you can't stagnate yourself in just one club. And Miami is so big, and
Yeah.
there's so many different clubs and so many different pockets of the city. You got to be hot in all of those pockets.
Yeah.
You can't just be hot in Carroll City and nobody in Liberty City know who you are, or you can't be hot down south and nobody in Overtown don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be hot in all those pockets, and it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you got to have a great team to help you put in that work too.
Well, like you said, because you got Miami, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, like Florida has a whole bunch of areas that you need to make
Oh
sure you're
yeah.
in before those records can go.
Oh yeah. You got Miami, you got Fort Lauderdale, you got Palm Beach, Jacksonville, Tampa, Lake City, Orlando, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Panama City. I mean, I can go on for days, you know what I'm saying? But you got to
Is
be
that
hot
is
in
that
all
one of
the.
the things that help Florida artists is, you guys can really break a record through your state by itself? Like, I know they go to Atlanta a lot and they go to other places, but it seems to be, when I see them, they always focus on Florida first, get Florida behind them, and then they start venturing
Yeah,
out.
because it's Florida is a very hard state to get.
Yep. Yep.
You got to know the gatekeepers in Florida, so it's very tough. So once you get Florida, it makes life a lot easier for you when you start branching out and
Yeah.
going to other states and cities across the country. It just makes it easier.
Yeah. And I know you were part of the 50 years of hip hop recently with Luke, the legend. How did
Oh
you
yeah.
how did you get the opportunity to be on the stage with him, and how did it feel to see him get his flowers that he's due as one of the Miami's pioneers and really hip hop's pioneers for all he's done?
Well, I'm Luke's tour DJ,
Yeah.
so I got a call saying that we were going to LA, and I was like, all right, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
And so when we got to the actual show, because I missed the dress rehearsal, so when we got to the show, Luke was already ready to go, and he looked at me and he says, "Hey man, where's your microphone?" And I'm like, "Huh?" He was like, "You got your buzz, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I always keep my buzz." He was like, "Man, you need a microphone." I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "Man, you think I'm going here by myself?" And I'm like, yeah." He's like, no.
Nope.
You need a microphone, sir." So I literally had to go get my buzz, got a pack, got a mic, and I'm like, "Man, whatever we gonna do, like, let's go. Let's do it."
So he just called you come to LA. You didn't know it was for this big ceremony. You didn't know that, it
Yeah,
was
like, nah, Luke is one of those guys, like when he believes in you, he believes in you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Luke definitely trusts me, he believes in me, and that's my main man. So he saw the opportunity, he's like, "Nancy's my guy." And you know what? If I'm gonna have this moment, I want him to share the moment with me. So
that's dope.
that's what it was, man. Shout out to Uncle Luke. He is. I'm just blessed to be in his
Yeah,
presence. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because he's done so much for the game. He's done so much for Miami. He's done so much for the hip hop community. Period.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To have one of those guys where you can just call, be like, "Hey, what's up, Unc?" I mean, that's a game changer.
Now you said you're his tour DJ. So how did you even meet him in the first place? And what was it you did you think that made him say he wants to make you the tour DJ?
Nah, I was just doing my thing.
Yeah,
Literally, I mean, I never approached Luke about it. He heard who I was, and it just so happened I was the last DJ of the Two Live crew.
yeah, yeah,
As you know, with Brother Marquise, rest in peace, and Chinaman, rest in peace. So the last opportunity that they did shows together, I was the DJ.
right. Yeah,
And there was a part of the show where Luke would come out and he would do his thing. So when he saw me doing stuff with the crew, he just asked me, like, "Hey, you want to come on?" And I was like, "Sir, your Uncle Luke, I'd do anything for you.
yeah.
Like, I would do anything for you." So he's like, "Nah, man, I want you to come on the road with me." And I'm like, "All right." And it's like 7, almost 8 years later, we've been rocking ever since.
Yeah. We've all heard the stories of how crazy those shows are. We won't get into it too much, because it might get bleak, but I can only imagine what you've seen being on stage with Luke. So congratulations on that. And I like what you said. I didn't present it to him. I just did my work. I did what I was supposed to be doing, and he came and found me. And I think really that's
Yeah,
how it kind of is in this entertainment business is if you do the work you're supposed to do and you get a good reputation, the
they're gonna
stars or
come
whatever
find
you call
you.
them will come to you.
1,000%, 1,000%.
Now, speaking of stars, you've been behind two of the biggest stars from Miami, DJ Khaled and Rick Ross. So let's highlight that. How did you connect with them, and how great does it feel now to see where all you guys are at this moment in your career? Because you guys are all legends and very successful.
Well, me and Khaled, funny fact, when I met Khaled when I was in Tallahassee,
Yeah,
and I was doing my thing in Tally, and we just crossed paths, never really did anything, any business and nothing like that.
yeah,
So when I came to Miami, as I'm doing my thing in the street, and I got the opportunity to get on radio,
yeah,
it just so happened Khaled saw me in the building. He's like, "Wait a minute, I know you," and I'm like, "I'm the same guy." Like, "Yeah, that's me." So now he's getting ready to transition off the radio, and it just so happened the show they gave me was the show that he did for all those years, the night
yeah.
show.
Thanks.
So now listening to him, I'm pretty much emulating everything that he did. So he heard me and was like, "Hey man, I need you a part of We the Best."
Yeah,
And I'm like, "You're Khaled. Like, that's a no-brainer." So we made it official. So I've been We the Best since like 2016, something like
yeah,
that. And from there, I've known Ross for God knows how long. Like me and Ross known each other back before I even moved back to Miami.
okay,
So I
yeah,
want to I want to say since like maybe 2000, we've known each other and crossed paths with each other. And next thing you know, it just organically happened where we just pretty much just linked up and was like, "Nah, Nasty, you rep the crib too hard."
Yeah.
and like you're one of my guys. And I'm like, man, listen, if it's Miami and I
Yeah.
believe in it, I'm rocking with it. So me and Ross, we've been rocking, like I say, for years, since about 2000.
It seems like how Miami really is. Like the Miami scene is, if you support Miami, then we support you. Like it seems like it's a real love and genuine support that goes on in in your guys' market.
No, that's what it is. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You watch my back, I watch yours. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can't put the entire city on my back,
Yep.
but every opportunity that's given, and I'm able to, 1,000%, I rep the crib like no other.
Yeah. Now, we all know them as huge successes, but maybe you have a behind the scenes. Is there something about them or even Luke, because you've seen him too, that they do differently than other people? Like, is it their work ethic? Is it just the tenacity, the dream big? What are some of the things you think that are help elevate them to where they are?
Well, Khaled definitely. I mean, really, all of them, man. They are big dreamers,
Yeah. Yep.
and they dream big, and they have a work ethic that is, I've never seen anything
Yep.
like it.
Yep.
And for a person like me, just sitting back, and again, I'm a sponge, so I just sit back and I just watch,
Yep.
just sponging all of that. It Some of that is instilled in me, and I go just as hard, if not harder,
Yeah.
than them, because I just want them to understand that I don't look for the accolades, but I just want you to respect me as much as I respect you, and
Yeah.
just see my grind and see exactly how I'm getting it popping, you know. And they respect it. They respect it, and they show me so much love. Like, they just show so much love, and you know what I'm saying. All I could do is just give it back to them 40 times the way they give it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I know you were you just went to the DJ Khaled golf celebration. So were you a golfer before Khaled changed to get into golf? And how's the experience now seeing the new improved Khaled with this golf and all this corporate stuff he's on?
Well, we were supposed to do it, and it got canceled because of the weather, so it
Okay.
didn't happen.
Yep.
But the cool thing about Khaled is, if he wants something, he gonna go get it.
Yeah. Yep.
And he never played golf a day in his life. And the next thing you know, let's go golfing. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
Nah, man, we golfing. I'm like, nah, kid. Like, but it got me so turned on to it because, like I said, his energy is just so infectious.
Yep.
So then I
Yep.
was like, man, I'm gonna learn how to golf. So I started learning how to golf. So me and him have never gotten on a course together, but if we did, he bet Charles Barkley like 25,000 when they played around.
Yeah.
So I got my 25,000. So Charlie, whenever you're ready,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to war. Like, I'm ready.
Okay. You know that's gonna be the clip now. We're gonna have to clip this up and challenge the
Oh,
official
oh,
challenge to
oh,
Khaled.
no, it's whatever. Caleb, my brother, and I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. I love him 40 times over. But if he want to get it popping on that course, don't get it twisted. I'm always ready. Always.
And you mentioned you don't do it for the accolades, but I see in Ace Magazine, I seen a lot of publications are starting to give you your flowers and the awards that you're deserving. How's it
Yeah.
feel now? Like you said, you weren't doing it for that, but now they're coming and giving those to you. How's it feel for you?
I mean, I mean, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But again, like, for me, it ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, they show me love, and again, they give me the admiration and the flowers, and I'm grateful for it. But I don't do it for that. If I never got an award, it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
To see the city grow, to see the city move, to for me to have opportunity to put other people on as the way they people in my past did it for me,
Yep.
that's the gratification that I get.
And you definitely put a lot of people on. Once again, salute to the core DJs, my family. How did you link up with the core DJs, and what was it about what Tony Neal and them they were doing that made you want to join the squad and be a part of the family?
So there was a DJ. He's passed away. His name is Big Will.
Yeah.
Him and Tony were like this,
Yeah. Facts.
and he's from Miami. So at the time when I was really getting my feet wet, everywhere Will went, I went.
Okay. Yep.
So Will introduced me to Tony. Tony started drive and saw my work ethic, and they presented me an opportunity to be a part of the core, and I
Congrats.
took it. And when I took it, a couple years later, he asked me to be the president of a division called the Core Streets.
Yep. Yep.
So I became the president of the Core Streets, and we've been rocking ever since. This is like back in '08, I think 2008. And we've been rocking heavy ever since. Tony is my brother. He's one of the people that I really admire. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I love the core. We like
Yep.
almost 900 strong now. So
Yeah.
it's the biggest DJ coalition in the world.
Now, when there's when other DJs, like you're a radio DJ, you've already got the celebrity connections and stuff like that. So when the core gives you that opportunity, I want to highlight to other DJs why the core was valuable to you. And what I know is it's a brotherhood. It's a lot of people like-minded doing some dope stuff together. But from your viewpoint, you're already successful. You already have your own connections. What was it that the core added you think that, really made it beneficial for you?
Well, the name of this game is always called networking, and it's
Right.
always about linking up with people that's outside of your market, and that's the thing that the core does for me. Like, I'm able to go tap into some of my brothers in Oklahoma. I never get booked in Oklahoma, but they allow me to show my skills off in Oklahoma, LA, North Carolina, New York, Atlanta, Texas, like all over the place. So that's the thing about the core. It is a brotherhood 1000%. And again, if you utilize it right and utilize it the right way, I mean, it'll take you to
Yeah.
places that you thought you'd never be able to go. So,
Yeah. And then I seen you do a lot of your mix shows. You start with drops from artists, freestyles from artists, and I'm always telling artists to send drops to DJs. Why is it important to send a drop to a DJ from your viewpoint? Because you're, DJ Nasty, world renowned, and all that. What does a drop do for you that artists don't understand sometimes?
well, I mean, first of all, when you're on the air, when you're on radio, you can't play everything that you want to play.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if I have an opportunity to showcase a particular artist that I think is dope, I'm gonna tell them, hey, just shoot me a freestyle or
Yeah.
do me a drop or whatever. And now that'll be my intro that I use for my mix show.
Yep.
And shout out to YD. He's a local artist here in Miami. I didn't even ask. He just randomly sent me a freestyle. And when he did it, I'm like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I'm using this.
Yep.
And it's been on and popping ever since. So
I always tell artists when I work with them, you're either going to pay the DJ or you're going to collect. You're going to work with the DJ, and when I mean work with the DJ, you're going to give them drops. You're going to give them the exclusive. You're gonna
yeah,
involve them in the process versus just trying to get them to be added on at the end. So
yeah,
I love when artists do drops. I've seen it work single-handedly. A couple drops here and there. Now you're doing a mixtape together. Now you're
yeah,
working on a song together. Next thing you know, you might be dropping an album together. So
yeah.
it definitely helps. I know you just came back from vacation Aruba, so salute on that with your family. How's it feel to be back home in Miami now with fresh energy and ready to, return back to what you're doing?
I need another week in Aruba.
Yep.
I
Yep.
need another week. But no, Aruba was fun. Um, it was work. Actually, I actually did a couple parties out there, but it was really more vacationing. So it was cool. Getting ready to go to Cancun next.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna light up Mexico. And then we got Colombia coming. We got the Dominican Republic coming. We're doing a lot of international stuff. So we're just gearing up.
Yep. And then do you have any artists you're pushing? I don't know much. Do you have like an artist you're behind? Is there a certain song we should be helping with? Like Sincere will tell you, I love breaking records. So to repay you,
Well,
if there's a record I can get behind or help you with, I'd love to help.
well, me and Ball Greasy, we getting ready to drop a project. We haven't figured out the title of the project,
Okay.
but we're gearing up. Me and Greasy, we did a couple records together already. One record in particular is called Boogie
Yeah.
that him and I did with Case 100 and Buster Free, two more guys here from the crib. But we're gearing up. I got a new single with him and Ross that I'm getting ready to drop called Just Do It. That's coming soon. Um, that's gonna be a big one. That's gonna be a
Okay.
big one. So I'm super excited about that. Um, and that's pretty much it. The only person I'm really like working with like that is Ball Greasy.
Okay. He's a dope person to pick with. He's a very talented artist, and he's got the right mind state, as we would say. The work ethic is be something he can easily deliver. I've seen him put out record after record all the time. So happy to hear that. Do you have any advice for other people, maybe DJs or people want to be in the entertainment industry, you know, who want to be in radio? Like any advice you would give them for today's climate on things they should be doing to set themselves up?
Whatever you do, don't stop.
Yep.
Doors will close in your face. People will tell you no. People will say, nah, not right now. They'll do all of that. Whatever you do, do not stop. That would be my nugget, and that would be my advice, because
Yeah.
I'm a living witness. People told me no. People told me no, I couldn't do it. People told me, nah, you gotta wait. I'd have had doors slammed in my face, everything. And I
Yeah.
just did not stop. So that's what I would say to the up and coming young world. Don't stop.
When you had those situations coming through for you, what kept you going? Did you have a support system with your family, with their friends, or what was it that kept you going even though people were saying no? Because sometimes people get caught up on those no's, but I'm with you. You got to push through it and keep going for your goal. But what was it that kept you motivated?
I mean, I got a family, so
Yeah.
my family 1000% is definitely gonna keep me motivated. But then at the same time, I have my own goals, and it's
Yeah.
like nothing's gonna stop me from achieving my goal. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell me no 1,000 times, I'm gonna figure out how to get through on 1,001. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just figure it out.
Now, if there's an artist that wants to reach out to you, or want to collaborate, stuff like that, what's your preferred method of contacting you, and what should they be, contacting you about if they're wanting to build with you?
Hit me on the gram,
Okay.
Instagram. I hit everybody back at DJ Nasty 305 on Instagram. That is the easiest way, and I hit everybody back in the DM. So,
Cool. And then outside of music, you said you have a family. What do you like to do for fun? Like if you're not DJing, if you've just at home chilling, what are you liking to do to enjoy your time?
well, normally I'm not home. I normally play poker.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
play a lot of poker. It eases my mind. It gives my mind to thinking. I get very creative when I play poker.
Okay.
So it definitely helps me gets my creative juices flowing. And then, once I get it flowing, then, I go back in the lab and I get super duper creative. So,
And then any shout outs you want to give either people who were there with you early on in your career or who are part of the team now?
man, shout out to Chuck, Sax, Dimp. Shout out to DJ Griot. Shout to Big Will, Doc Fresh. Um, shout to Dietrich, Cedric Hollywood, Jerry Russian, Phil Michaels. There's so many people. I'll be here all night. Shout people out, man. Shout to 99 Jams.
Yep.
Um, Shout to Uncle Luke, Disco Rick, Rose, Khaled, E-Class, Free. Man, so many people. Shout to Flow Rider, Major Night. Man, I can go on for days,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
JT Money, the Poison Clan. Man, there's just so many people. I mean, every person who touched some part of my career, I'm just grateful.
Yeah, I salute you on that as well. And then anything else you want to let people know that we may not have mentioned or we didn't get to yet tonight?
No, man. I just get ready. Like I said, I'm getting ready to drop some records.
Okay.
Get ready for the records to drop. I got some big news actually getting ready to come very, very soon.
Okay.
So I'm very excited. So very, very excited.
Well, like I said, when this is over, I'll hit you in the DM, as they say, like you said to do. Send me anything, man. I love breaking independent records. I love breaking the major records, but I'm kind of like you as a DJ. I want it first. Like I don't want to find it on other platforms and then I get it. Like let me get it first so we can really do what we do and break the record. So
Nah,
I
say less.
appreciate
Let's
your
do
time
it.
tonight. Definitely, you're a living legend. You've done so much for the Miami, the Florida scene. I got a lot of friends out there. They speak so highly of you. So I'm honored for this conversation tonight, and I hope you have a great night, fam.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the time, man. I'm grateful. I'm just 1000% grateful. Trust me.
Yes, sir. All right, have a good night, man.
Hey, you do the same, Chief.
Salute.